Hello, hello everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you are all doing well. I wanted to show you the two projects we did on Monday live over on YouTube. This is the two projects we made. This one is a little s'more packet, and then you've got the card there. We're going to do one more card tonight so that we can end this week with our squirrel projects. And this was the one that we did a little differently. That was crumb cake, and then we ended up doing it in the pecan pie, which we liked better. So sometimes, you know, when you go live, you just got to change it up a little bit and see how it'll all work. Okay, so we are going to do one more card, and it's going to be this one. And I'm going to straighten my camera because, well, it's a little crooked. There we go. I think that did it. Let me grab my ink pads because I had them sitting over there. Because we are going to be using this weekend in my in-person class, we're going to be making another card using the squirrels because, well, I obviously just cannot stop using them. So, all right, if you are here, make sure that you tell me hello. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. That's always helpful. And then, of course, I would love for you to share my video. That helps in my business as well. All right, so let's dive into our project. We'll make it short, sweet, and to the point, so that everyone can go and do their Friday night plans, right? We are doing Mexican. Woo! I love Mexican food. It is my favorite. I could eat it probably every single night of the week if I was allowed to. We make tacos a lot at home, but we have a little Mexican place here in Darlington, and it is absolutely fabulous. So probably one of the best ones I've ever been to. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, if I can get all these pieces out, there are quite a few pieces on this one, but I promise it will go quick. We're going to go ahead and put, not with that one, because that one is now empty. We're going to go ahead and put this on our inside. I got a little piece of fuzz or something going on in that adhesive. Okay. And then we're going to start, actually, let's do this piece. Okay, so we've got a piece of crumb cake there. And first, before I forget, let's go ahead and do the stamping in the back, in the background. So we're going to take crumb cake, which my crumb cake has disappeared. Isn't that wonderful? Let me see. Oh, it's here. I put it up, apparently. Oh, it's kind of odd. And we're going to stamp. This is kind of like, it kind of reminds me of the top part of an acorn. But we're going to stamp it a couple times up here at the top. And it's really just so that it gives it a little extra something. It's not a whole lot for sure. And then we'll do a little bit right there. Okay? Okay. So just in those corners. And then we'll set that aside. And then we've got a piece of Country Woods Designer Series paper. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to create almost like a tree trunk out of this. And so we're going to take, and I'm not sure why I cut it so wide, but we can kind of cut off. So what we're going to do is kind of give it a larger span up top. And I probably should have been doing this from the back, but it'll be all right. And then we're going to give it a wider span at the bottom. Okay? So kind of like a tree goes. Then we're going to flip it around and do the same thing over here. And we're not going to tear as much off on this side, since we are all right. And then that one's gonna spread back out like that. Okay, and then we're going to attach it. And I think I'm gonna do this little white part kind of up at the top. I think I like that. And it doesn't have to really look like a tree, just to make it look, you know, fun. It's just giving it a little bit of extra something, you know. And then we're gonna take our adhesive and we're going to attach it to our card front layer. And let's see if I can get it to go straight up here. All right, there we go. And then just let it fall down. And yeah, I think I like it this way. So just kind of play with it as you go. Now on this sample, you'll see it doesn't have the white because I tore it from the back side. Either way is fine. I think I probably prefer it without, but it'll be all right. All right, here I have cut out from the pumpkin dies, the beautiful pumpkins. I cut out the smallest pumpkin, and that's going to kind of be our tree hole. And so what we're going to do is we are going to take our grid paper again. We're going to take some early espresso ink. And we're going to get a little inky. And we're going to rub it all over. I didn't want it to be as dark as early espresso, like the cardstock, and so I wanted to make it with the blending brush. And now I've inked up a little bit. I'm just going to kind of dab that, and we're going to brush the edges. Give it a little bit more definition and a little bit more dark. And you can go over it as many times as you would like. I think I am okay with that right there. Let me add a little bit more ink to the center. Okay. All right, so that's going to be our tree hole. And we're going to go ahead and attach it. So we're just going to put some seal on the back. We're going to attach it right there. Okay, and now we're going to stamp our leaf. And I've already cut out, we're going to need 4 total, so I've already done 3. So the only one you have to watch me do is the early espresso. And we're going to stamp that right there. And then let's take our squirrel and we're going to stamp it twice. And then we're going to do some coloring because, you know, coloring is great. And let's see. I think I put the wrong one up. I sure did. Okay, so we need that one, not the solid image of it. So I'm going to take that away. I must have been half asleep when I was preparing, putting all the products, make sure I had them all. And we're going to take the black memento for this one, and we're going to stamp our squirrel twice. Okay, and then I'm going to flip him upside down and stamp him again, because we're going to punch him out after we color him. All right, so I'm going to grab Cajun Craze, and we're going to do our dark everywhere except for the belly. The belly we're going to do light. Let's do our little side after I break it. There we go. All right, and then that almost looks like it's dark, but it is not. And then we're going to do the inside of the ear, and then we're going to do the eye. All right. And then we're going to take the dark, and we're going to go around and we're going to color it in. And I'm using Very Vanilla, which I am using a lot in the last couple weeks. I'm not really sure why. Except for we do have some really cute things that have been really good with the Very Vanilla. And fall is a good time to use that Very Vanilla. All right, so let's now take our little side and fill in along our edges and in our smaller space, because that brush tip will kind of go a little haywire. And then you're gonna have to re-stamp everything. At least I would. Anybody else with me on that? I'm very good at rushing and then having to re-stamp or recolor or whatever. Okay, so there is our Cajun Craze one. And then let's do, let's see, we're going to do pecan pie. And this time we're going to do it a little opposite. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to do the light and then the dark. So never mind, I was wrong. There will be a blog post for this one. I just have to get the video uploaded to YouTube. And then once I get that done, which will be after Mexican, I will then post that to Facebook and YouTube so that you've got that. All right, now we're going to go with the dark. And again, we're going to use the brush tip at first and kind of get a lot of the blank space colored. That's pretty wide open. And let's turn it. All right, let's see if I can get that without messing up. There we go. All right, and then let's get our little side. And we'll finish coloring this, and then we're going to punch them out. All right, and the coloring is the longest part, but I promise it's well worth it. You can even do the two-step stamping if you'd like to do that, but I felt like I should show you that you can color it too. Okay, and then the last thing we want to stamp is our mushroom here. And our mushroom is going to be pecan pie on the bottom. And we did this the other day where we took and inked up half and then inked up the other half with Cajun Craze, and we're going to do that again. So we're going to just take our pad and go up as far as we can. And then we'll turn it around and we'll do the other side. Down. And then we're going to stamp it. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and use my scissors and I'm going to trim really quick so that this is what we're going to run through the embossing machine. And then this here is what we're going to punch out. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and punch it out. Let's see if I'm going to need a sticky. I might. Let me grab some of this. We're going to attach it to the back, and then we'll stick it in. That's a little tip trick so that you don't have to waste so much paper. And then just line it up and then punch. There we go. And then see, you can bring it right back out. Then just make sure that you take that tape off the back. All right. And then let's do this one. This one's going to have to be cut at the bottom. So we're going to need this again. And we'll stick that in. Maybe. Let's see, there we go. All right, and then we'll punch, and ta-da. And we'll pull that piece out. And you can still use that little sticky piece. You still got plenty of it. And then let me grab the cut and emboss machine so that we can do that. That was extra, so I'm going to move that aside because I don't want to lose everything. Okay, and then we're going to place these two here. We'll grab our dies and we're going to cut out our mushroom and our leaf. And we'll line that up there. And then let's line up our mushroom. Okay, and then we'll run that through our little machine here. Okay, now we've got these, and now we can start putting it all together. Okay, so let's take our crushed curry and our early espresso, and we're gonna just put adhesive on the back of it. And this one is just gonna kind of jet out from here. And then this one's gonna go right about there. All right, and then let's put on our squirrels. I was about to say rabbits, but squirrels. We're gonna grab our dimensionals. And 1, 2, and 3. I think 3 will be just fine for this one. Oh, you know what? We didn't pop up the bottom one, but I'm gonna pop it up now. So this is gonna sit right about here. And then this one is gonna go up here. And I'm gonna actually tuck the feet in a little bit behind our hole, kind of like that. And he's gonna sit right there. We're gonna take our mushroom and pop our mushroom up as well. And that's gonna go right about there. Ta-da. And then we've got 2 more little leaves here, so we're gonna flip those over. This one is gonna stick in right about there. And then this one will stick in right about there. Let's go there. Then we've got some twine. We want to add a bow. Of course we want to add a bow. Who doesn't want to add a bow, right? We all like the bows. So we are going to use some crumb cake from our Baker's Twine Essentials pack. We're going to fold it in half like that. And then we're going to tie a bow. Okay, and then let's trim off our ends. Let's see if I can figure out about how long I want it. There we go. Oops. Oh. Well, those aren't working very well, are they? Those are kind of old, so there we go. Okay. Let me put this back in so I don't knock it off and unwind the whole thing. And then we're going to attach it to the feet of the squirrel. So we're just going to add a glue dot to the back. And then we're going to attach it right about here. Actually, like right here. There we go. All right, then we also I have this little strip here. And this strip, we are going to stamp the sentiment, which I had about 5 seconds ago. And we're gonna stamp it in early espresso. Apparently I pulled everything out of my basket and laid it on the table behind me. All right, and so now we're gonna take this and stamp it down. Ta-da. We're gonna take our scissors and we are going to flag both ends. And I want them to be little ones. I don't want them to be too big. This one we're gonna trim off right about there. And then we'll go up the center. And there. All right. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and put some adhesive on this side. Oops. And then I'm gonna fold what is overlaying on top of itself. All right, and then I'm just gonna make sure that that will be right, and I think that's pretty good. And then the rest of it is going to be with a dimensional. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna use the edges since it's kind of a small or a skinny label there. So we're gonna put one, and then let's do this one. And then we're gonna put that one there. And then it will sit right about here. Ta-da. Okay, flip that over. Let's add some dimensionals. Because, you know, everything is better popped up. That is the motto I have. And one more. And once we do that, we're going to stick it on our card front, and then we are done. Oops, we don't want it upside down though. Ta-da! There we go. There is our last card for this week. Don't forget, if you have ordered $50 or more from the online store, you have until midnight tonight to do that. And if you do, you will get the make and take packets to create all of these projects for this week. Let me pull this one in. And on this one, you will also get the little bag. Okay, and then I'll send you with a paper clip or a little clip, clothespin, a mini clothespin, whatever they're called. I will send you with one of those as well, so that you'll actually be able to make the project just the way it is, and then you can just buy your little inserts for it. All right, thank y'all so much for joining me this week. I thoroughly enjoyed playing with this bundle. Oh, and let me show you one last card. This one right here is the one we will be making in class tomorrow. It's pretty simple, and it is doing a little bit of coloring because my ladies like to color. So, all right, thank you all so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.